What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Marinoni Time. I'm Alex Marinoni, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. He's the owner and president of the XFFL. That's the Extreme Flag Football League, based now out of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, but originally from Pennsylvania. It's Demetri Thompson. Demetri, I'm glad you could join the show, and I hope everybody, you and your family, everybody's doing well during this crazy COVID-19 time.
Man, thanks for having me, Alex, man. I really appreciate you having me on, man. And yeah, everyone's just trying to stay home, stay safe, and, stay healthy during these crazy times that we're dealing with, Of course, we're all dying to get back on the field, but, better smart than safe. Safe than sorry, But, happy to be here, happy to be part of what you're doing, man. It's great.
That's great. I appreciate that. And, this is right in the middle of what would be your spring season. And one great thing about the XFFL is that you guys have both the spring and fall. So you play football during the fall when you're itching for it, and then while this NFL, college, and everything's going on, and then you've got the spring league, which I used to play in the league myself. For those that didn't know, I used to love because I used to see players jump around on different teams and experiment with some different teams in different ways, and then they go back to their team in the fall. But that's when I was there, and I'm sure things are a little bit different now. But not being able to have the spring, how have you guys adjusted to that?
Well, not being able to have the spring, guys have had to just simply adjust because it's the new normal for what we have to deal with this pandemic. But the bright side is that a lot of guys, I think it's made them appreciate everything that they have with all this football. A lot of guys don't have an opportunity after high school or maybe after college. We have a lot of guys who play D1. We have had guys who've never stepped foot and played football in high school come and play, and it gives guys the opportunity to get out there and have some fun athletically and be competitive at a very high rate. And not having it on a Sunday has made guys appreciate it more because there's nothing you can do. You have no choice. You have to just be without it for the moment. But this too shall pass, and we'll be back out there playing again. And yeah, it's always fun. Guys are switching up teams all the time. The way we treat it is, you've heard me say this before. This is the closest thing to putting pads on without putting pads on. It's 9-on-9 competitive football. You're only missing a couple, wide receivers and maybe a D-back, a lineman here or there. All depends on how you want to put your setup on. But it's really a great thing. And guys will get back to it as soon as they can, as soon as we can. As soon as they take us off punishment, we'll have something going for guys as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's great. And I could tell just in you explaining having players pretty much play after high school, play after college, or have never played and maybe were scared to play early on, and now they're getting an opportunity to play with friends and maybe other relatives. How did you get involved into that, and how did you pretty much help create the XFFL? Because there was a Portnoy League in the past where this league was originally started, and now you got involved along others. How did you pretty much get your stepping stone into it?
Well, the truth of the matter is that I give two guys a lot of the credit for me even falling, because I fell in love with the sport before anything. It wasn't about creating a league or whatever, what have you. At first, just like anybody else, you love football, you love sports. I used to play high school collegiate sports. I came home, I got hurt, and I just ended up playing basketball. It was more something that you could just do all the time with a couple guys. You can go to the gym and play basketball. At that gym, I always played with two guys, Mark Iannazzo and George Angelopoulos. Two guys, one's a cop, one's an actual principal. And these guys were playing in the league, talking about, you definitely need to come out here and play. You're big, you're strong, you're athletic, you're fast. You should come out here and play. And I kept telling them, nah, I'm not going to go play. I'm good. I'm all right. And then one year, somebody else came and told me, there's this league that plays over here. You should just come check it out. I just drove up to see how everybody was doing, hang out with some friends that they had no intention of playing football. Next thing you know, I was on the field playing. And I was hooked. I was completely and utterly hooked. Never played flag football a day in my life until that moment. But from that next Sunday on, I was there. And how it ended up becoming, something new and different, we ended up seeing a different vision of what flag football can be. The league that was there was doing a great job. It was providing a service for guys and everything like that. We just felt as though we could take it to a higher level and give it a more refined and polished look, and take it to areas that we never thought we could right now, actually. But it's doing it. It was a dream. And sometimes when you believe in a dream, it takes off. And I do believe, and I'm hopefully can get bigger than this and what we're doing. But in the last 5 seasons, we've been able to do a lot of great stuff for the community, a lot of great things for people. We started multiple businesses just through flag football for guys in the area that are pretty much based out through flag football. And if that's not, if sports can do that, then it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that I've taken away from this league. I've been a part of the league when it was originally probably, 15 years ago maybe, when it was Tyco, and then it goes to the PFFL. It was just about the football, which is fine because ultimately that's what the guys want. They just want an escape. They want to get to that Sundays and just have that competitive edge again, like you mentioned. But you're doing so much more, which is very interesting and entailing. And it's a big reason why I wanted to have this call with you, because you're taking it more from just a flag football league to helping others. And it's like a close-knit group of guys, even though people are now coming from pretty much all over Pennsylvania, all over New Jersey, so much so that you've opened up a league now in Jersey. So you could have your own league because there's so much interest there that it seems like it was so close, but everybody's so tight. And when it comes to situations like unfortunate situations where somebody might have a house fire or there's someone loses a loved one within the league, the league becomes its own community and pretty much steps in. And I feel like a lot of that is because of the close-knit group that you guys, from the top, pretty much how you guys pretty much run the league, and everybody gets involved and chips in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're from the age of these kids with the hashtags, and I've hopped on the bandwagon, and we definitely believe in a football family. We hashtag it everywhere, XFFL family. Growing up as a kid, I come from a different age of football where, the coach can tell you and rough you up a little bit, and mom and dad will let you say, hey, the coach said what do you have to say. And it becomes more of a family aspect. The coach is part of the family. And I've always tried to treat everybody that I step on the field with, or if I'm around you guys on the field and you're one of us, that means you're one of us. Outsiders can come in, but this right here is for us, and we treat it as such. Like we said, we've had people who had house fires. We've had people who literally just gotten hurt on the field. We try to kick in and get something done for them. Anything we can do. It's always good to have somewhere that you can say, hey, worst comes to worst, I got 1,000 guys who would throw me $1, and I can have some help. And that's just what it's all about. It's about being a good community, being good to your fellow man, human being next to you. And sports has always taught me that. Sports is great for being athletic and getting your name out there. But sports will always teach you that no matter what, you're not as good as not as good as you're going to be without the guy next to you. And if we all win, everyone wins. So that's just kind of the good guy in me. You know me, Alex. I want to rip everyone's heart out on a football field. I want every win possible. I don't care how I get it. But once we clock out, we shake hands, and let's have a good time. Let's help each other. Let's be great together.
Absolutely, and that's when I was in the league and played. I mean, obviously, I won't get into too much details about how the smack talk and all that stuff that I used to do myself, let alone everybody else. And sometimes it would get personal. But the one thing that I guess it was when I was a little older, and I noticed when someone would go down, like you mentioned, there was an injury on the field, and how it could go switch, like where it goes, I hate these guys and I want to play and I want to rip their head off too. All right, let's keep his leg stabilized, and like everyone, you don't even know that there's 2 different colored jerseys. Yeah. Everybody's like, get a car on the field, let's get him up, and that's I think been great. And I feel like that's what you guys have been able to do, is keep that together, because if you didn't have a tight knit group and a tight knit league, I feel like that's the type of things that would spiral out of control, and you getting guys going, what, F that guy anyway.
Absolutely, and I gotta credit that, like you said, to the guys who believe in this thing from the beginning. My vice president Mark Brown, my treasurer John Cease, my other owner Chris Holland. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have our trustees, Jamal White and Chris Resco. I mean, these guys have been behind me and behind this league from day one and put their heart and soul into this thing every Sunday. These guys, they take time away from their families every Sunday to stay and make sure that everything is right. They make sure that during the week that, everyone's recaps are taken care of. Chris Resco, we all know, I mean, if you don't know, Chris Resco is the guy behind all of the cool flags that we make, and that's been distributed all across flag football. I mean, he's one of the best graphics guys in flag football, and that all came from us all working as a group. We call it the XFFL Conglomerate. I mean, we have our own in-house, production team / videography, graphic design, and that's all because we all believed in one solid goal and one solid vision. And it seems to be coming to fruition. It's a slow process, but it's getting bigger and bigger. And I dreamed it, but I couldn't believe it would happen as well as it's going so far. It takes a village. It truly does, though. It really does take a village.
Yeah, and I think you're able to do this, some of those things like you were saying, the production team and I think that's what separates your league from others. You can always see these other flag leagues. You see their pop-ups on Facebook or whatever social media, YouTube, and it's just like quick highlights, maybe like 2 or 3 plays. But you guys are covering the league. And I know that was around a little earlier, and it just, it was done okay, but you guys have taken it to another level. You have the XFFL Real Talk, where you guys talk about the games coming up, pretty much cover them like a regular team. And then, like you said, the production aspect, where you've got these videos coming out and some of these other cool things like the designing of the flags. What brought that to the thought to you guys to go on with that?
The truth of the matter is that I'm a dreamer. I'm a huge dreamer, and I like to believe in the fact that if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And if you can just put the hard work in, it'll get done. It might not be the way you want it. It might not be the way you think it, but you try to put as much hard work into it, and it'll get done. What happened was it was a perfect storm of a lot of things, and guys needed uniforms, and we decided that we were going to try to find a place to find uniforms. And my brother Jamal White, who owns Jam All Athletics, he decided to take that upon his as his separate business entity, and he now provides all the uniforms for the league. And now he's a team owner in the league as well. So that's helping him as a brand for his team. That's also helping his actual brand as Jamal. And he's now be able to branch out and does uniforms all over flag football. Like I said, Chris Resco, we've seen his work from back when we used to play back in the day. He always used to just randomly do little posters for us just for the fun of it. I reached out to him, and I was like, you need to be part of what we're doing here because you're extremely talented. And at that point in time, we were one of the only leagues that used a product called Shrooms. And I reached out to the gentleman who owns Shrooms and let him know that, hey, I have a great graphics guy, and we can start doing custom flags for all across flag football and have this guy be our designer. We worked it out, and now Chris does custom flags for everybody all across the United States and the world, and it's been extremely eye-opening. We're doing mock-ups and designs and logos for a lot of guys all across the flag football, and it just kind of just happened. We all just put our nose to the grindstone and decided that we were going to put our foot on flag football. We're going to try to put our foothold in this thing and let people understand that we're here. And we're trying to make a little bit of noise. We're not trying to disrupt, but, there's a different way of doing things. There's a different way to look at every side of the coin. And this is how the XFFL looks at it. And we're just trying to make the wheel run a little bit better in our eyes, maybe. Maybe we might be wrong, but it seems to be working out for us pretty well at the moment.
I'd say so. Now, what are some of the hurdles that you've had to face both on the field with the players in dealing with the actual gameplay to the business side of thing that people probably don't realize you guys struggle with? What are some of those hurdles that pretty much go unseen that you deal with not just on Sundays but all 7 days of the week?
Well, all 7 days of the week, it's customer relations. And that's a great thing, and that's what I like to say. I'm great at. I would like to say, because somebody has to be able to, to have people talk, to reach out and talk to them. And anybody can reach me on Messenger, and I'm very easy to respond to. It's not going to be like, oh, I have to wait 3 weeks for him to talk to me. If you have a question, you can reach out to me, and I'll always respond as fast as possible. And that's kind of like what the people kind of the league like. Some of the with that comes that I'm constantly on my phone, and that can always be stressful in life, but that comes with the territory. A lot of the stressors are just simply maybe like, especially with the pandemic going on. We made a big switch because we were no longer going to be in Stroudsburg this year. We were going to be in Easton. We made a partnership with Lafayette College, and we were going to be at Lafayette College, and that was a huge upgrade for the league. But with the pandemic, we can't deal. The schools are closed, so therefore, just logistics sometimes can be a headache, especially with the limited amount of parks in the area that can sustain 2 football fields, because that's how many. We need 2 football fields to sustain our players for a Sunday. So just logistically getting everything done and making sure everything is right, that's always a sore point. But once it starts rolling, it becomes easy. But it's a labor of love. It's something that I pour my heart into, and I hope guys see it. I hope guys understand it. I hope guys see that this is bigger than just flag football. We're trying to give guys a place where they can say, hey, you know what? It's kind of like a club. And it's not just for the guys. It's for the kids. It's for the wives. We have on Real Talk, we have a ladies' night where we let the ladies and the wives and the girlfriends and the sisters and the moms call in and talk about how crazy all us men are. We try to give back as much as we can to the people that support us, and show them that we love them for what we do. So it's a labor of love. That's all. That's really what I can say. But anything that you love, you got to put your heart into. So.
Absolutely. Speaking of that love, how much did it mean to you, even something so simple during this COVID-19 and everything going on with it? You guys aren't able to play. They have these very interesting brackets and voting, and I forgot the name. I think it was the Flag Football Madness bracket, and you guys win it. I mean, everyone voted you guys, and that's a big deal about that, because it's big flag football leagues all across the country, and they voted you guys number 1. What does that mean to you to have that type of backing, both from obviously a lot of local people voting for you guys, but just that your name is now getting out there across the whole country, not just the eastern part of Pennsylvania?
It's always an honor to even be mentioned in anything like that. You know what I mean? And the league banded together to get that done. So actually, that's the second year. This is us going back to back. Actually, last year we won. We didn't even understand how the voting went or whatever like that. But this year we understood everything, and we put our nose to the grindstone because we wanted to go back to back, and we actually did win, and it felt great. I mean, I told everybody we can't do what we do without the support of everybody who supports us. We have a lot of great people who support this league all across the United States, and it's not just guys who play in our league. I mean, we have guys like, Skinny Ward, who lives in St. Louis. Never met the man a day in my life, but he sees the movement and respects it, and he supports, and I support his movement. And that's just how you grow anything. Is when you see something good and you respect it, tell that person. Give people flowers while they can smell them, so we can grow this thing. Growing the sport is my next big goal. The XFFL is great, and it's going to continue to grow and build, and we're going to try and keep expanding the brand. But my next big goal is to get flag football in general out to the masses. That's the next big dream.
Well, you've already started that with moving to Jersey, so you see yourself going further than Jersey, something that maybe the XFFL brand can go down to South Jersey, up into New York? Is that what you're envisioning? Is pretty much starting with the region and then trying to grow it to that level, or are you just trying to keep it growing just in the area that you're in?
Oh no. Well, the way we see it, we're going to continue to grow the XFFL in any way, shape, or form. We're going to continue to do more tournaments throughout the year in multiple locations. We had a plan, but COVID last such a greatest laid plans. So, so we're reworking the set schedule, but we're trying to have more tournaments in multiple locations all across the United States. We have a lot of backing and a lot of support, and we have Tampa, we have St. Louis, we have North Carolina. There's a lot of people who have reached out and said, hey, we like what you guys are doing. We see what you guys are doing. I have a couple guys out here who really would love to be a part of something like that. We just don't have X, Y, and Z. And, with any great plan, it takes a little bit of time and commitment and, always the almighty dollar. And, we're going to try to make everything happen. We're going to continue to grow it as fast as possible. But we're going to make sure it's at a rate where, we're not saturating the market with the brand, but we're never going to sacrifice the quality of the brand as well either. So it's like, if it doesn't just work with what we do, and if it's not the same consistency, we would never, be part of something like that. But the growth it's always going to be about growth for the XFSL, always. Like I said, the next thing is we really want to try to, when you were a kid, flag football wasn't something that you ever could have dreamed of playing. Like, oh, I can't wait to be 30, 25, whatever, and like be on Sunday and play flag football. But if I think you can get it out there to more of the people who just regularly love sports, we have guys who like one of our guys, Derek Delaba, who's played soccer all his life, never played flag football, and now comes out to our league and is the MVP of our league and defensive player of the year, and it's killing it because you learn it's a different sport, So I think that needs to get out to the regular person a little bit more, actually.
Yeah, and what you said earlier, it speaks a lot of volumes that you had your Tampa and North Carolina and other parts of the country that were reaching out to you guys. And I mean, you see posers around the league, around the world all the time. People they see something, I want to be that, and they try to just kind of copy, which copying is flattering, sure, but the fact that they were willing to reach out to you shows what kind of product that you guys are building, because it's more than like, if I want to be that level, I got to get advice. There's no like copying this. This is, I got to go all in, and I got to hear from the source. And the fact that the respect is there has got to be rewarding for you guys.
Yeah, it always feels good, and like you said, copying is the fondest form of flattery, and we see it, and it's all love, and like I said, as long as it grows the sport, we're going to continue to do what we do and try to do what we do the best that we can do, and when you reach out to somebody and show that love, you should get that love back, and that's always what we'll do. And I'm never going to turn down anybody. Let's be. I say it all the time. Let's be great. Let's be great, and let's be great together. We can take over anything in this world if we just do it together. Anything. And flag football is no different. This thing is something that, like I told you, it was a fluke. I love at first sight, and the bug has bit me, and it's nowhere. I'm not going anywhere. So might as well do it the best we can.
I want to get this thought out. Is I've played in the league, but living now way east in Jersey, so it's quite a trip for me. But looking up and down the state, looking at New York, looking at everywhere around me, none of these leagues are like your league, where it's 9-on-9 competitive, pretty much as real as it gets. It's full contact. Why do you think it's the case where by me and by a lot of the more popular leagues around the country are 5-on-5, 6-on-6, even 7-on-7, but none of the 9-on-9 and the full contact? Why do you think that's the case? And do you think that's another reason why your league separates itself from the others?
Well, that's a really good question, and I definitely want to answer that question. And this is my personal opinion. First of all, there are a couple leagues in our area that 9-on-9, like the Greater Connecticut Flag Football League They are a great flag football league. They are guys that play at a very high standard. They play at a very high rate. They are some great athletes over there, and but they do 9-on-9 as well. And I want to give them their props because they do their thing. And but like you said, a lot of these other leagues that are just 5-on-5 and like 7-on-7, the flag football has this stigma, in my personal opinion, that it's either you are extremely good and you play only extremely good with extremely good guys, or you are just you're just playing it for recreational, and you should just play over here with the recreational guys. And I mean, to an extent, you want to keep everybody happy, but flag football is for everybody. And 5-on-5 gives you an opportunity to showcase your personal hand speed and feet and quick ability. 9-on-9, you're gonna have to earn it. Yeah, especially in those trenches. 9-on-9, you can't hide it. You got to cover 100 yards as well. 9-on-9, I believe, in my personal opinion, is the best form of flag football. It's the closest thing to real football. If you're going to try to play football, it's the closest thing to a team aspect. You have to depend on each player, the kicker, punter. Everybody needs to be on the same page to be great for a whole season. And to me, that's what football is. I love tournaments. For any tournament, let's do 7-on-7. Let's go 5-on-5. That's about the only ones I would do, 8-on-8. Because you still get, the aspects of flag football. And, me as being a bigger guy, I'm not out there with these barbecue chickens and, there's a guy named Barbecue Chicken. There's a guy, and he's awesome, who's dipping all around you. And I have nothing for that. But one-on-one with a guy his speed, they might have a better shot. So, it's a give or take. I respect all formats. 9-on-9, I believe the reason why 9-on-9 isn't as, there's a lot of reasons, because it takes more people. You have to have a bigger team. You have to have a longer game, yada, yada, yada. But the receivers and the fast guys love, in layman's terms, the receivers and the fast guys love the lower formats. The big guys get to do what they do in 9-on-9, and it's easier to get exposed in 9-on-9 than it is, the smaller formats.
Absolutely, and I agree, and I think by going 9-on-9, you guys have the ability to incorporate a lot of football fans, because when you do the 5-on-5s, you're cutting it short, because there's going to be a lot of linemen who were linemen their whole lives, or just bigger guys who want to try to play football, who are like, I can't keep up with these guys. These guys are all skill, fast guys. I want something where I can provide something for a team, be productive, and having the 9-on-9 and putting these guys on the line. Linemen, you want to talk about people that love football? Yeah, I was a ex-quarterback and safety, and I love football, but you talk about guys that are willing to just beat up other people all day. That's love. And now that you get to incorporate them into this league or into a 9-on-9 style, it allows them to also continue to play.
Exactly. And that's why one of our other slogans is where the big boys play, because, we're trying to let these guys come out here and have fun. You know what I mean? There's no difference in the trenches. There is no difference than playing with the pads on. It just can't. Obviously there's no chop blocking or anything like that. But you as an offensive lineman, you're going to have to use your hands and block, and you're going to have to do your job. And it's only three down linemen and 3 defensive linemen, and they can blitz. And there's you have to read the defense. This is real, offense and lineman versus defensive lineman. You might leave with a busted lip. You might get a hand to the face. It's going to happen. Your jerseys might rip. It's going to happen. And, the hog mollies love that. And like I said, guys out of high school didn't get a chance to go play college ball just because maybe, you just didn't think you wanted to. But, hey, you know what? 8 of us who didn't play, we can still keep this team together from high school. And let's come out here and grab a couple guys and let's go compete. And, that builds, a family rapport for the rest of your life. You guys continue playing a sport together for years upon years. Me and you've seen it. It's kind of awesome, man. And it's like a fraternity for everybody, guys, girls, kids. I've seen kids grow up, and from when they're babies, going into high school. It's crazy.
That's a great point, and that's one thing that I've definitely taken away from it when I started, was when I was in that league. It went from, all right, these are these random older guys that I don't know, and it turned in, after playing for a couple of years, it turned into friends. It turned into guys that I'm talking to. I mean, it was a connection with just you and me, for example. We reached out to you, and we're having this call right now. I mean, it's those type of relationships that you build, and especially when you get out of high school and get out of college and you're playing and stuff, your friends start to drift away because they're taking care of their own business. Now these are people who are like-minded like you, maybe completely different backgrounds, but it's like-minded people who spend their Sundays doing the same thing. And if you're on the same team as them, all of a sudden you guys have more than a common interest. You have to play together.
Hey, I met Chris Holland through this league, and a lot of stuff in my life has changed because of meeting him. And I'm not ashamed to say it. He's my partner in this whole thing. He's literally one of my best friends in life. I consider him a brother. And you and I both know I was literally trying to defeat you guys tooth and nail. So it's the weirdest thing. It builds relationships. It builds family. And sports does that, and we can see that right now. If you can't believe that right now and what's going on in the world, what's going on, people forget the dying for sports. It's showing you that sports itself is not the actual playing of the sport isn't really what brings people together. It's the camaraderie of everything. Because I miss people's faces. I just miss laughing. Everyone can pull a flag. Everyone can run around. I've done that since I was 8 years old playing football. That's great. It's when he does something funny and it makes me laugh, or when this guy gets mossed, I'm like, oh, and the sidelines go crazy. That's the soul food, I like to call it. That's what Sundays are about for me, and I feel as though that's what the league understands too. Yes, we all love to play football. As soon as that whistle blows, it is absolutely time to get it on. But once it's over,
now,
let's go on the sidelines and have some good food.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've noticed in my last year in the league, was you guys incorporating stuff for not just the family, but just having the food there, and just people weren't leaving the field like they used to, just playing and getting that in and going, pretty much blowing off steam and going home. It was everybody staying, and especially you were kind of hoping you had the early game, because if there were a couple of good slated games, you wanted to sit with the other guys from the other team and just sit and watch them play and make it a day rather than just a couple hours.
Yeah, man. You bring the family out. This year, we're in Jersey. We're at Turkey Brook Park. Turkey Brook Park is an absolutely beautiful park. It has a water park. It has volleyball. It has all kinds of great actual stuff for kids. And the wife can come. The kids can go play. You can actually go up and get your football fix in. And this is the kind of stuff that we're looking at. Rita's is going to be there. You know what I mean, as well. So it's always looking to try to make people understand, yes, this is football, but this is also for the family. And this is our thing. And once you're here, you're one of us. And it's we're not insulated, but it's always good to know that, hey, I have that XFFL badge. I'm okay. I'm part of something, and I can reach out to people, and I'm not going to be out here alone.
That's great stuff. And I got one more question for you. I see that the Bullies sent over a jersey to the owner, the president of Barstool, Dave Portnoy, and he loved it, went off about it. He said he was, he's running routes in his apartment, and he said if they need a guy to run routes, I'll do it. If Dave Portnoy reaches out and says I want to play for the Bullies, you guys letting him?
Absolutely. I mean, I need him to reach out to me. I've sent emails. I've reached out in Messenger, because I you know me. I'm always working, so
that's it.
I've reached out. Let me know if maybe you have an avenue. You let me know. You reach out to him too. He'll definitely split out. We'll make the extra roster spot for him. Absolutely.
I thought that was great. When I saw that, I was like, wow. I mean, I don't know if that means the XFL has made it, but that's pretty damn close. I mean, you got Dave Portnoy wearing one of your jerseys.
Yeah, 2 days in a row, and then he wore it the next day selling stocks. It was amazing. He wore both of them. Couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? shout out to Lou Archulese and Mike Mealy and the whole Borough Bully organization for always, those guys have always tried to set the standard on what a franchise in the XFFL should be. And, I tell guys, treat this thing like this is your Dallas Cowboys, your New York Giants, your whatever team you are, because it's your franchise, it's your brand. We got guys like the Crooks who have a team in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. These guys, they're selling, they have their shirts that they sell with their merch. Like, these are things that you guys can start developing brands of your own. And, it's always about learning and teaching and growing. And it's not just football. I just want to keep reiterating that to everybody. It's not, this is a family. Everybody, this is something that, if you put your heart and soul into it, you can be great at. I came into the league a million years ago with a 9-man team. I had 10 guys. And now it's turned into something crazy. So,
absolutely, and I absolutely see the vision you guys are going on and think it's great. Demetri, I just want to thank you again for joining the show and giving us all that insight and just hopefully another way to express the brand of the XFFL. And now, unfortunately, with the economic climate and the XFL possibly going under, now you guys are back as the only the extreme football league that's going around. So I guess one negative turns into a positive in a marketing way. But again, I just want to say thank you so much, and I look forward to talking to you guys again down the road as this continues to grow.
Anytime, Alex, man. I appreciate you reaching out. Anything you ever need, we're always here for you. You're always XFFL family, your original OG, so we're always here for you, man. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Demetri. I really appreciate it.